Sorry about that, folks. There was an interruption there because somebody came to the door. This is the trouble with doing a live review, and it drags on a bit longer than you expected, and before you know it, there's something with the delivery or whatever. So, apologies. We were just reviewing this Eduard BIG SIN set for the 132 scale Revell Fw190 from Revell, the F-8. And we've just been looking at the engine parts and these little fans, because you get a fan in the engine set. You also get a fan in the propeller set, interestingly. So, we're just going to pop those away, and we are going to then review those other parts of the engine, which appear to be the cylinders. There's quite a lot to get through. This is why it's taken such a long time. It's taken me a little bit by surprise. I wasn't expecting there to be quite these many components, but there's a lot. So, let's have a look at this, see what we got. Got a little bit of, we'll look at the photo etch first. Got a little bit of photo etch. This is all the wiring set. Let's have a look at this then. See what you think. There we are. Yes, so lots and lots of the sort of wiring harness pieces. Here's those little drive belts, drive chains I should say. It's in belt, it's actually a drive chain. That's very well represented, isn't it? Done that really nicely. Look at that. Wow. Some really impressive parts there. Quite fiddly though. And you've got the rings that go around the engine, sort of mounting rings between the sort of front and rear cylinder sets. Very nice. We'll pop that back in there as well. Then we've got these rather interesting looking cylinders, and there's a lot of them. So I think we'll just get a couple out. I think there's just literally a repeat set, many parts of the same thing. And we've got basically these push rods, and there's a whole load of them. Push rod set, very fine indeed, beautifully moulded. And then we've got these cylinder heads. And the focus eventually decides to come in for us. But they're nice, aren't they? Look at that. They've got all the cooling fins on it. It's very detailed. Really nice, to be honest. Beautiful. Very nice pieces. Excellent. And then there's just many more of those replicated, so we'll pop those back in the bag. And then last but not least, we will have a look at the sort of structural pieces and the exhaust that we've got left at the end. And these, we have got the cowls, which are absolutely enormous. So we've got the two side cowls, and here we've got, I think this is the starboard side, I think I'm right in saying. Is that right? Starboard, port, upper and lower. No, I'm wrong, it's upper and lower. So this is the lower, which you split it in half basically down the middle. So this is not one piece, this is two sides, and you split it down the middle here. But they're beautifully thin. Look how crisp and thin they are to give the scale-like appearance of those cowls, which is where you score over injection moulded plastics. They tend to be, with the exception of some of the Tamiya kits, which are very good, they do tend to be a bit too thick, and they can be a little bit out of scale. You see all the sort of mounting support framework that goes on those cowls. That's the lower bit, and then you've got the upper part, which is a bit more sort of simpler in its shape. But again, lots of fine detail, the rivets, see the latch points here and here. And then on the inside, look at that, beautiful, fantastic detail. Lots of sort of cooling fins and little scalloped out pieces for the cooling, really, that's what it's all about. And helping giving a little bit of clearance as well to those various parts of the engine that protrude a little bit from the cylinders. Nice, isn't it? Again, you slice it down the middle, separate them. Well, not dead down the centre, you cut them out. So you're going to have to be a little bit careful here, because you've got to put your knife down here, that side, and again this side, and cut it out. It requires some skill to use these. As I said before in the earlier part of the video, It's not for beginners. Then we've got this structure here where this is the support brackets that actually mount the engine itself. So this is like the bearers, engine bearers if you will, which is very nicely done. And then last but not least we have the actual exhausts themselves, and these are absolutely exquisite. Look at this. Oh wow, 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 look at that. They're opened up nicely, they're in the right beautiful shape, brought together in that classic Focke-Wulf style. And there's two different sets. There's the side sets, and then there's the lower. These two are the lower ones, come out the bottom. Very, very nice exhaust pipes. Stunning, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. Now, before we go, I'm going to do the thing I didn't do, which is do the comparison. So let's just zoom out again. Having interrupted my video and had to make it into 2 videos. One of these days I'll learn how to edit and splice, which I haven't really learned. That's not one of my skill sets, I'm afraid. But let's actually look at some of these parts compared to the kit part. So we've got the exhaust here, so let's go straight into those and look at them. We've got, and they're slightly different, aren't they, in the style of them? They're quite interesting. Whoops, so don't drop it or break it. Let's just have a look what we think, how they compare. Here we go. Have a look at this. Right, stop. Now then, how do they compare? Can we see? Now then, it's quite hard because of the angle, I know, but obviously the dark grey is the resin, and the sort of pale grey cornflower blue is the plastic. So let's just put those side by side. Can you see the difference? A bit finer on the resin, isn't it? Just looks a bit more accurately moulded, but it's not bad, the plastic, as I said before in the first review. When I did the kit a couple of weeks ago, it's just quite good. I'm actually almost questioning the need for the resin engine set. I actually think that this is one of Revell's best ever engines. Easy. Let's take a look at these engine components once again and just satisfy ourselves about it, because again we had some beautiful parts that we've already seen. Let's just revisit those before we go. Like the cooling, I said it was the exhaust, it's not, it's the cooling pipes, isn't it, for the cylinders. Let's just compare those together. So we've got the kit here, here, and this is the resin here. Now again, these kit parts, they're not quite, you can't see the bolts on the flanges. If you look very carefully. I'm going to get some more light on this because we're not quite light enough, aren't we? Look at the bolts on the flanges on this grey one I'm tapping here. Can you see it? These flanges here, you can actually see they have bolts on them. If we can get any focus at all. There we go. Look very carefully at the flange where they join the main body. Now you don't get that on the kit. Granted, you don't. It's not there. But the actual moulding is really good, Is it necessary? You've got the propeller blade here, which is a really nice one actually. Again, really nicely moulding, great moulding from Revell. By their standards, it's really, really good. And you've got your cylinder heads there. We just looked at those exquisite ones that are resin. But these are not bad. They're not bad. I'd be as brave as to say that I don't think that's any worse than Tamiya would do. Now Tamiya haven't done one sadly in 30 seconds, so we can't be sure. But I think that's not dissimilar. Perhaps they might be a little crisper, but there's not going to be much in it between that. And I think that the upgrade kit is better, but I'm not sure it's really that much better. I think that Revell did such a good job with this kit, the standard kit, I think it's debatable really. You've got all those little con rods and things. Certainly it'd be a lot easier to build the Revell version, but when it's finished, how much different is it going to look? It'd be very interesting to see, you know, if someone like Phil Flory, who's got the ultimate one built with all these extras, if he built it again and just did it out of the box, I wonder how it would compare. I don't think you'd notice that much without really zooming right in. I think you've got to go on full zoom with a macro lens like we have here. Then you can see the difference. But I don't think to the human eye, just looking at the two kits, I think you'd think they were identical. I bet you, almost identical. You'd have to be very sharp-eyed to spot the difference. That is a testament to the quality of the kit Revell built. Which, but you know, I'm not a fan of Revell because I've had so many bad experiences. But I'm very pleased to say it's opening my eyes to the fact that they are changing for the better. I'm impressed with this kit. I said it when I did the review a couple of weeks ago, but that really just reiterates it. Anyway, that takes nothing away from this amazing couple of sets from Eduard, which are, as you would expect, absolutely, you know, the best, let's be honest. They are, for me, they're a bit fiddly, I think. There's a lot of work, additional work you have to do, which puts me off them. But that's just because maybe I'm lazy, you know, to be honest. I'm not sure it would put other people off, so don't let me put a negative on it for you. I think it depends what you're into. If you want the absolute last word in detail, then you probably are going to go for this resin brassing kit upgrade. You're probably going to want to have that for yourself. If it's the ultimate you want, that's what you're going to do, I'm sure of it. However, I think it goes back to what we chatted about before. You don't need to do that. If you have a fundamentally good kit, then it's not so important. If it's a really poor kit, and what of Revell's other kits frankly are, if I'm honest, some of their historic stuff isn't my cup of tea at all, and I've had battles with several of them. That being the case, then you would be absolutely, it's a no-brainer to go for something like this. But these ain't cheap, as I said. This is the best part of £50. The other one's about £35, £40. So you got £90 there, thereabouts, plus the kit. You pay your money, you take your choice. By the way, I didn't mention that there's actually there's a mask set for the wheels as well. I didn't actually see that. I think it's in with the masks. Nobody noticed it. Didn't get that out. Perhaps I just missed it. But it's all there. If you want the ultimate, spend the money. If you are on a budget though, and so those people that commented the other week about the F190 kit, you're going to love it. It's a brilliant kit, and I don't think it's strictly necessary to have all these extras because it's just such a good one. So there you go, folks. There we have it. Entirely up to you. Pays your money, takes your choice. I'm not sure that... to be honest, I think I'd put it like this. I'd be very tempted to have the gun kit. I think that's superior. I'm not sure about the cockpit or the engine part of it. I would be more tempted, I think, you know, if I was going to build this kit, I'd get the gun kit and I'd get the wheels kit, because those are beautiful. Maybe with the propeller set as well, but I don't actually like the spinner. I probably wouldn't use the spinner, I'd use the kit one. I'm sure you could do that. So maybe with a bit of a mix and match, you could save yourself a chunk of change. You could probably save yourself, what would it cost you to have those 3 little kits? That would cost you about £25. That's perhaps the answer. But to go for this Big Sin, everything all in, is a lot of work. It's a lot of money. You're going to have to do a lot of fiddling and reworking. Is it worth it? It is, but I think the kit is fundamentally sound. I think perhaps I wouldn't be advising that. I think I'd go for the slightly cheaper option. Just pick on these ones that I've highlighted that seem really good, and you don't need the rest. Anyway, there you go. I hope you found it interesting. Sorry it was a long one, much longer than I anticipated. I thought it was going to be a short vid. Ended up being 2 vids, you know, thanks to my visitor. But anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope you give us a thumbs up. Hope you enjoyed seeing those parts close up and in detail. It's the only way. It's very interesting when you do the side-by-side comparisons. A little bit tricky, I know, to see, but It's sort of 15 or 20% better, but it's not as better as I thought it would be. That's not a reflection on Eduard, it's because Revell did a good job, a very good job. Anyway, thanks a lot. Nice of you to join me. Please come back soon. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed already, to do so. Please give us a thumbs up, a like, and don't forget to ding the notification bell if you haven't already. Then you'll get informed of any new and upcoming videos in the near future. In the meantime, between now and the next vid, thanks for joining me. Take care of yourselves, and bye for now.